Harry, we're hearing these stories right now of these worksite raids by ICE and other groups within the government that Donald Trump is directing to do these. Trump, Stephen Miller, we heard about law enforcement. We weren't sure at first it was like ICE or the Secret Service, though, kind of walking around a school in Chicago in an ominous way, asking to be kind of let in and to check who's there. The Newark workplace raids, elementary school in Chicago, 85% of workers or something like that in Bakersfield afraid to show up, according to some community organizations based on worksite raids there. Trump and his team, they're shooting these like propaganda videos of the United States military at the southern border, those military style helicopters, troops who have their military weapons out, like looking like they're rushing, to the border. Meanwhile, we're also learning that President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico rejected Donald Trump's effort to try to send one of these big deportation planes into Mexico. You and our audience knows, you and I spend a lot of time talking to each other throughout the day, just sharing notes, what's going on. And one of the things you said to me that I'm like, we got to do a video on this is, you're like, Ben, Trump wants the cruel imagery. He wants to see the kid crying in the elementary school being pulled by a military person or someone dressed up in the SWAT team, tears in the kid's eyes. He wants the photo of someone being literally ripped from the family. And I was asking him, like, you think that'll backfire though? You think he wants that photo? You're like, no. That's the authoritarian playbook. He's trying to get the cruelest of the cruel photo to say, I don't give a crap. The way he was saying on Friday regarding Bolton and Fauci, who he took away their security detail when he was asked, what if they get killed? They have death threats. Will you care? And he goes, nope, don't care one bit. And it clicked what you're saying. I maybe it was more obvious than it should have been. I don't know. But explain to our audience why you think that that's part of the authoritarian playbook. That's what he's actually gunning for, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, this took me by surprise. And the thing that really brought it home were the pardons. Remember, he'd been trying to say from the start, everything was peaceful, etc. This was screw it. Enrique Tarrio and Stuart Rhodes, those are his poster children. And the first thing I thought about with these raids, man, they're going to get some indelible pictures that are just going to be A, in the history books, and B, to our national shame, along the lines of Tiananmen Square or Elian Gonzalez being ripped from Parents' Arms, things that like change political fortunes overnight. But, he's not, I think, thinking in terms of political fortunes. He's thinking in terms of power, domination, madman kind of tyrant. That's what they're actually looking to frame. You look at what happened in Newark. The greatest example is what you just said. These planes. You think about these planes being brought basically to bear against. They've always been lying. Oh, we're going after the murderous criminals. That's how he pushed back on the bishop. No, they're not. They got 3 people in this big raid, and each of them, their big crime is not having papers. There's no, the murderers. I'm here to tell you that was already the Biden administration prioritized those, and those people are in prison or else being deported. But he wants to be the savage tyrant, and that is a page out of Putin or Orban's book. He's not. That's part of the danger, of course, of his not being having to run for election again. But it really is, not a matter of. You would think the pardons, which are going to stick, I think, and already 2/3 of the people are against them, and the raids, the horror that people in communities are going to have. He got a bare majority, but 30% anyway. 2/3 are against the pardons, for example. But guess what? He doesn't give a shit about that anymore. He cares more, it seems so obvious to me, about being feared and being the figure of terror and power, and just makes him be able to work his will, whatever it is. And in other regimes where they've, I think again and again these days about Hungary, they've arrived at a point where most of the people are strongly against Orban. He's got under 30% approval rating, but he's made the kinds of changes and made the under to him that it doesn't matter. It's too late. People cannot cannot reverse the tide anyway, because he's so aggregated the power, has Orban, and I think this is Trump's playbook to himself. We've been used to thinking however mad he is, he plays in a political context where you have to worry about coalitions, and he's got a narrow majority in the House. And why would he come out of the box with these pardons? Why doesn't he at least say, we'll think about it? And I think the answer is he cares more about being feared and a figure of great power, like a military strongman, more than he does as a governing president of any stripe. So that's those ambitions being so front and center, I think, is a separate horrifying aspect of this week in and of itself.
Harry, that's one of the reasons I think there was this moment, right, where they were getting the list of who to pardon for the January 6th insurrectionists. Right. And he's looking through the list, and he doesn't deny this. This is what went down. He looked through the list, and then people were saying, well, this person was doing this. And then he said, you know what? Just F it. They all go free. And they're like, but they all go free. And then that's how they all went free. With that erratic behavior, there wasn't let's reflect on it. I'll sleep on it. We'll do it in the morning. Let me think about it. Let me look through it.
Bring in the Attorney General to confer over the next few months. No, first week. Boom.
Right now. And, that's why when we talk about these other qualities of an individual, character has a lot of dimensions to it in leadership positions, right? When we're talking about Trump's cabinet picks and all of these people, and one of the things where you're talking about experience, temperament, addiction, the different things, accountability. Have you experience leading things before? Trump's prior failures. You can look at the person's background and you can understand these things, right?
Yeah. Look, I've long since given up trying to psychoanalyze him, but there's something in the DSM-5, but what it really is, that this is when people talk about narcissism or sociopathy, it's the indifference to the opinion of people. It's the, any president, the most flaming a-hole, is thinking about at least looking good, fooling people, trying to charm. This is the most, on top of everything else, dangerous and everything else, but the most charmless, low-class piece of crap who has ever approached the Oval Office.
Harry Littman, Talking Feds Substack, Talking Feds YouTube, Talking Feds everything podcast. It's where I get my news from. Everybody should go check it out as well. Check out the whole Talking Feds media ecosystem, the podcast, the YouTube, the Substack. Just search Talking Feds. Tell them Ben sent you. Tell them MeidasTouch sent you. Thanks, Harry.
Thanks, Ben. Talk to you.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.